Hello everyone, and Merry Christmas if you're watching this on the day that it comes out. Today we're going to be diving into my 3 Wolf Quest packs and drawing updated references for the pups that managed to survive the Raising Pups quest. We will start with Dandelion's puppies first and work our way through the packs. First we have Cedar. He's the largest of Dandelion and Buck's puppies. As a young pup he was very large and he had a reddish coat similar to cedar bark. As he grew, he became more and more gray, which doesn't really suit his name, but he is still sturdy and steadfast, like a cedar. P.S. I'm actually sick while recording this voiceover, so there won't be as much talking in this video as usual. Hopefully you guys don't mind, and maybe it'll be a peaceful video for you. Next is Relic, another large male. As many of you know, Buck, their father, is half dog, and it shows through the most in Relic. Although he has a flop ear and a slimmer body shape, Relic is not really much like a dog. He is an old soul who is wise beyond his years and isn't super playful. While Buck is airheaded and silly, Relic is reserved and patient. He loves to run and play with his siblings, but he also loves a good sunshine nap just as much. I think Holly is definitely a fan favorite from this pack, and there's little wonder why. She was quite ill growing up, but she never lost her fighting spirit. She recovered from her illness and her true personality began to shine through. Holly is opinionated and stubborn. She likes to do things her own way and can be a bit cocky. She thinks she's always right and has a bite first, ask questions later sort of mentality. Holly's pretty spicy and can be a bit difficult to get along with for some wolves. The only other surviving female from this pack is Kestrel. Now, I know that Kestrel has a mange coat in-game, but I have elected to call it a burned coat. She has, like, flaming colors anyway. I think she must have been in an accidental forest fire. Their pack lives in the very dry plains, so it would make sense to see an occasional brush fire. Also, I worked in an animal shelter for many years, and I got mange, so I do not wish to give it to my wolves. But anyway, back to Kestrel. She's much like her mother Dandelion in looks and in personality. She's friendly and has a sunshiny demeanor, but she's much less outgoing than Dandy. I think when Kestrel disperses, she may have a harder time opening up to the other wolves and finding a mate. She's a little shy and reserved when you first meet her. Our final remaining pup is Orion, a slim male. Orion is pretty similar to Buck in that he's playful and a bit forgetful. He likes to wander off to follow new smells and is endlessly curious. Orion is very clever and quick-witted, like his mother though. In future litters, I would really like to design the Buffalo Plateau pack to be more similar to Mexican wolves or Ethiopian wolves. I imagine them as more lanky and slim built so that they're more comfortable out on the plains. And that's all the pups that managed to survive in the Buffalo Plateau pack. We only lost Venus, a very young pup who was taken by a bear, and Spirit, who was lost to an unknown fate. So now let's find out how many of Amanita and West's pups survived. First, and unfortunately last, we have Opal. Yeah, she's actually the only surviving pup this year. Although the Geode wolves are usually quite big and muscular, Opal has grown into a small and stunted young wolf after nearly starving to death. All of her siblings passed, but she just barely survived. Opal now is quiet and reserved. She doesn't take risks and is a pretty nervous girl. She doesn't like to be the center of attention, but now she's all that Amanita cares about. Her mother is the ultimate helicopter parent, and Opal can't stand her mother's constant prying eyes. Now let's see how many of Eddy and Jade's pups survived. First, we have another fan favorite, Mouse. This girl is the smallest wolf that we have in all of the packs, even smaller than Opal. She's absolutely tiny and petite, and she refuses to let that stop her. She's a vicious fighter and an intrepid warrior. She's much like her mother in that she will dive into battles with little thought of her own safety. She's a risk taker and quite the fiery spirit. Her father is always impressed by Mouse's strength and courage. Despite being very sick most of her puphood, Mouse has grown into a young hunter. Next we have Geyser, a mid-sized black male. This guy is much more like Eddy and is a quiet wolf. He's cautious and strategic leaning, with little to no courage. If he has his packmates with him, he's more inclined to jump into a fight or a hunt, but he's absolutely not ready to be alone. He's a bit worried to disperse in the future. Eddy insists that Geyser can stay in the pack as long as he likes, while Jade is a little more pushy and wants to see all of her children spread their wings and fly. Winter is a gentle male who's incredibly sweet and affectionate. He loves to play with his siblings and snuggle with his family. Whichever dispersal female gets Winter as a mate is going to be incredibly lucky. He's gentle, kind, and loyal like no other. Right now, he's completely loyal to his family, but I think if he found the right girl, his priorities would shift in an instant. I think he'll make a very present and capable father someday. Next is Lark, who is absolutely not father material. He's sassy and quite the jokester. He's bold and outgoing and loves to tease his siblings. Although he's very independent, Lark thrives off of the company of others and is a true extrovert. I think as he gets older, he'll be quite the flirt towards the dispersals the pack comes across, but I'm not sure how committed he is. Lark has a lot of growing up to do before he will make a good mate. Finally, we have Tempest, which means all of Eddy's puppies survived. Tempest is the only other female pup besides Mouse, and she's quite feminine at that. While Mouse is more of a bruiser, Tempest is more caring and motherly. She has a strong protective instinct for her siblings and will often encourage them to stay near their parents. She isn't big on fighting or claiming territory, and is a little naive. She hopes that if she doesn't encroach on other wolves' territories, then maybe they'll leave her alone too. She's optimistic and sweet, but she may have a harsh reality check one day. And that's all the pups that we currently have in the Young Hunter's Quest. I'm so excited to see them grow and for us to have more puppies with our current leaders. If you want to see that, please let me know. And if you join me for my next video, I'll see you then.